Joe Rogan,
Yeah.
who's the king of podcasts.
Yeah.
Did you see anything in him at the time that made you think he might be capable of what he's become?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we didn't know what a podcast was.
The Ellen situation.
Yeah.
You know, people found out that Ellen was mean, and all these people came out and said, Ellen's actually a bitch. And they were like, whoa,
Yeah.
can't believe it. And she lost everything. She fell apart, disappeared, because people found out that this character that she was portraying in a half an hour on a television show is not really who she was. My buddy Greg, who was one of her writers, was like, she's a piece of shit. And he was like, she's a fucking monster.
New claims are making the rounds about Ellen DeGeneres and Jeffrey Epstein, and the internet is already digging deep. Some online commentators are alleging that Ellen's public image of positivity and kindness didn't match what reportedly happened behind the scenes. Even more controversially, people have pushed an unverified theory that the backdrop used on her TV show somehow referenced Epstein's private island, Little St. James. That's a wild connection to make.
Did you know that Ellen DeGeneres' stage set is exactly the same as on Epstein Island, with all the couches, the same colour, the same soft furnishings, palm trees, window, everything to the T? And I'm like,
Really?
yeah.
Ellen's not that nice.
This was after you went on the show?
After I went on the show,
What was it like meeting Ellen? And is she a good person?
let's just all go back to 2017, where I was the first person to call Ellen out before anyone else.
You called her out?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I called her out. I was like, Ellen's not that nice.
This was after you went on the show?
After I went on the show, and the world blew up about it and was like so mad at me about it. And then someone else said it, and then it was like, oh my God, Ellen's so nice. Oh, okay.
That the Epstein files reveal Ellen DeGeneres as, and I'm quoting this directly from the Post's, Hollywood's most prolific, that she consumed human flesh.
But there's no solid evidence proving Ellen was part of Epstein's inner circle, so these claims need to be treated as speculation rather than fact.
It didn't have to go down this way. She could have been brilliantly talented in front of the camera and carried that backstage, and she didn't. Every Friday we were shaking, who's going to get fired this Friday?
For years, Ellen DeGeneres has found herself caught in one controversy after another, with rumors and wild conspiracy theories constantly blowing up around her name.
It's a crazy idea that I will order pizza. And so if I do, I don't want it to go to waste. Who will eat pizza if I... Jennifer? Yes? Harrison?
But beyond all that internet chatter, former staff members have publicly described serious problems behind the scenes, alleging that the workplace environment on her show was far different from the fun, positive image viewers saw on TV. Then things got even messier online.
Stephen Paddock, and do not ask me for sources, but Stephen Paddock.
Who's that?
He was the guy that shot up the Vegas concert. That was a very tragic thing. Listen to this. The only guy that saw Stephen Paddock alive, his name is Jesus Campos. He was a guard at Mandalay Bay. He got interviewed nowhere else. You know where he got interviewed in the beginning? Ellen.
Really?
Weird. And then they went on, if you could find that clip, they went on with a weird like diagram of how it happened, and Ellen's like showing the people how it happened. Not like an emotional, like how are you feeling, how are you holding up? It was a weird diagram of like, and then he went to the left and to the right. It was very strange to, look, what the hell's going on? This is a daytime show.
You walk out of this and this just slammed?
Well, when I was in between that area, I was calling security dispatch to get transferred to engineering. They didn't know anything about it, so they dispatched an engineer to go verify what that was.
That's when you got called?
Yes.
Okay.
And at that time, I heard what I assumed it was drilling sounds.
Ellen's name has been pulled into speculation surrounding the so-called Epstein files, with some posts even trying to connect her to strange claims involving pizza. But those whispers alone don't prove any connection to Epstein or criminal activity, so this part of the story remains unverified internet speculation.
Paddock then turns the deadbolt to room 134. At 10:05, his rampage begins. In under 10 minutes, he would kill 58 people and injure over 700 before taking his own life.
Then there's another detail that Joe Rogan later brought up, and this one sent people straight down the rabbit hole. In October 2017, Ellen DeGeneres interviewed Mandalay Bay security guard Jesus Campos and building engineer Stephen Schuck after the Las Vegas mass shooting. Both men had encountered shooter Stephen Paddock around the time of the attack, making their appearance a major point of public interest. The interview quickly drew intense attention, especially because Campos had previously canceled other media appearances. And that left people asking one big question. How exactly did this exclusive sit-down with Ellen come together? For a feel-good daytime show built around comedy, celebrity interviews, and family-friendly entertainment, the appearance definitely caught some viewers off guard.
All right, we do have some tragic breaking news coming into our newsroom right now. We're in absolute shock here. DJ and dancer Twitch, whose real name is Stephen Boss, has reportedly died by...
People started asking why Ellen's show, of all places, became the platform for such a serious conversation. But an even bigger question kept hanging over the story. How did a daytime TV host secure such a high-profile interview with two men connected to key moments surrounding one of the deadliest mass shootings in modern U.S. history? That unusual booking sparked plenty of speculation online, even though landing an exclusive interview by itself doesn't prove anything suspicious. And this is where the story takes an even darker turn. Some online commentators and self-described body language experts picked apart Ellen's behavior during the interview, claiming her reactions seemed unusually controlled or detached.
Actress Anne Heche remains in a coma after that fiery car crash. Her condition is far worse than originally believed.
Oh my gosh!
According to her spokesperson, she's in critical condition and on a ventilator. Her burns will require surgical intervention, and she has significant pulmonary injury.
But reading guilt or secret knowledge from someone's body language isn't reliable proof, and there's no established evidence that her behavior showed anything sinister. Still, that didn't stop the streets of the internet from going crazy with theories. Some users began trying to connect Ellen to the CIA and other shadowy circles, despite there being no credible evidence establishing those claims. Her friendly relationship with former President George W. Bush was also dragged into the speculation, making an ordinary celebrity connection look suspicious to conspiracy-minded viewers. Then some fans went even further, attempting to connect those theories to the tragic death of Ellen's longtime DJ and collaborator, Stephen "Twitch" Boss. Boss died by suicide in December 2022 at a hotel in the Los Angeles area. His death was officially ruled a suicide, and there is no credible evidence tying Ellen to his death or suggesting that these earlier conspiracy theories had anything to do with what happened.
He looked up top and said, "Hey, can I buy that red wig?" I said, "Sure." So I went up to grab it for her. I told her, I said, "It's not cut or styled." She says, "No worries, I want it anyway."
Did she appear in any way inebriated or drunk or impaired?
She did not. She wasn't slurring her words. She had bright, beautiful blue eyes. She was just a sweet girl.
Then the conversation took another emotional turn when Stephen "Twitch" Boss's widow, Allison Holker, later opened up about the changes she noticed in him before his death. She discussed how deeply the ending of the Ellen DeGeneres show affected him, describing a major shift as he faced uncertainty about what would come next. But that's very different from saying Holker directly blamed Ellen for his death, and that distinction matters. At the same time, the show was already carrying serious baggage. Former employees had previously made allegations about a toxic workplace culture behind the scenes, claims that led to an internal investigation and changes in senior staffing. Online stories have also tried to pull Twitch into that controversy, including claims that he was pressured into uncomfortable situations or feared consequences at work. However, those more extreme allegations shouldn't be treated as established fact without solid evidence.
Point in time to talk about Epstein and to talk about Diddy and to not see them as the same situation. Like, there's so many intersections between Epstein and Diddy that we're not even paying attention to. and people who were regulars in the Epstein crew. Like,
So tell me about your birthday party. Am I invited?
Yes. Yes, you're definitely invited. I invite you to all my parties. You just haven't seemed to show up to
No,
any
well,
of them.
is it on the East Coast?
Yes.
Well, that's why.
It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second.
Given custody of him, he signed to Usher. I had legal guardianship of Usher when he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
Going crazy.
Crazy.
Allison's account also brought attention to deeply personal struggles that Twitch may have been dealing with, and that sent online speculation into overdrive. Some internet claims have tried to turn those private struggles into allegations of sexual abuse and even drag Ellen's name into the story. But Allison did not publicly identify Ellen as someone who abused or coerced her husband, and there's no credible evidence supporting that explosive accusation. The timeline also became a major talking point online. The Ellen DeGeneres show aired its final episode in May 2022, months before Twitch's death that December, after Ellen had announced the decision to end the show the previous year. Rumors of behind-the-scenes disputes continued circulating, but that doesn't establish some secret connection to what happened later. Then, conspiracy theories pulled Ellen's former girlfriend, Anne Heche, into the picture after Heche tragically died in August 2022 following a serious car crash. Because Heche and Twitch died only months apart, some people online tried to connect the tragedies. The timing might sound eerie when presented together, but there is no established evidence showing that Ellen caused either death or that the two events were connected. Then came another detail that sent conspiracy theories flying. Shortly before the crash, Anne Heche stopped at a salon in Venice and purchased a bright red wig. Some online commentators later claimed the wig could have been a disguise and even suggested she was running from something connected to Ellen. But there's no credible evidence showing Heche was fleeing Ellen or anyone else, or that buying the wig had anything to do with the crash. Then footage from the crash scene created even more confusion online. News reports explained that Heche suffered devastating injuries, later fell into a coma, and never regained consciousness before being declared brain dead. But viral footage appeared to show Heche suddenly sitting up, while emergency workers moved her on a stretcher, leading commentators to ask, "What's going on here?" That moment may look shocking, but it doesn't prove she escaped the crash unharmed, or that anything sinister happened afterward. And people online kept coming back to one strange detail: the bright red wig Anne Heche bought shortly before the crash. Some commentators wondered whether she wanted to disguise herself or was trying to get away from someone. But there's no verified evidence showing she was on the run, and claims that she was secretly making a documentary exposing trafficking rings, or so-called adrenochrome harvesting, in Hollywood have not been substantiated. Still, Hollywood conspiracy circles have pushed stories for years claiming that powerful people manipulate young performers behind closed doors. Ellen's name has been thrown into some of those conversations alongside controversial figures such as Diddy, Harvey Weinstein, and Jeffrey Epstein. But simply putting those names together doesn't establish a real connection or shared wrongdoing. Public figures including Cat Williams, Jaguar Wright, and Joe Rogan have fueled broader conversations about power, exploitation, and what allegedly happens behind Hollywood's polished image. From there, some commentators have made the much bigger leap of claiming Ellen's platform helped pull young celebrities into situations they never signed up for. That's an explosive accusation, but without credible evidence directly establishing it, it remains speculation, not proof. Thousands of people online have taken these scattered claims and built a much darker theory around Ellen DeGeneres. Some posts point to her celebrity connections and alleged links to figures like Diddy and Jeffrey Epstein, then make the explosive leap of labeling Ellen a predator. But there's no credible evidence establishing that accusation or proving she participated in Epstein's crimes. Then, there are the controversial hidden camera prank segments from Ellen's show. Online commentators have revisited footage involving cameras used for embarrassing or private-looking situations and argued that the jokes now feel different given the allegations surrounding Hollywood. Still, a TV prank, however uncomfortable viewers might find it, doesn't prove predatory behavior or a secret connection to Diddy or Epstein. And that brings us to the question conspiracy circles keep pushing. Did Stephen Twitch Boss or Anne Heek know something damaging about Ellen? There's no verified evidence that either was preparing to expose her, and no credible proof connecting Ellen to their deaths. But online, those unanswered claims continue to drive one of the darkest theories surrounding her public image. Now, we want to hear what you think about this whole situation. Was Ellen DeGeneres really the kind, upbeat personality she built her career around? Or did the controversies behind the scenes reveal a very different side of her? And when it comes to the darker theories spreading online, do you think there's anything credible behind them? Or has internet speculation taken things way too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more.